A few years ago, when it was more common to see people share their pronouns on their signature and share their pronouns in meetings, a friend of mine came to me and asked my advice or my thoughts on something. She was part of a board, and the head of the board had instructed that every member put their pronouns on their email signature related to that position, that job. And she wasn't comfortable doing it. And she asked me what I thought because she didn't want to do it, but they were making them, in order to stay on the board, put their pronouns in. Now, I don't know what's going to surprise you more, the fact that A, I have a friend that did not feel comfortable putting their pronouns, or the fact that I don't agree that people back then should be made to do pronouns. And I say back then because they're not doing it. No one seems to be doing it now. But whether now or then, I don't agree with making people share their pronouns. And I'm going to explain to you why that is. And understanding why that is helps you to decide if you are a person that wants to share your pronouns or not. So, the first reason that I don't believe people should make others share their pronouns is for some people, it puts them in a difficult position. It puts them in a position to either out themselves or to lie. And what do I mean? I read somebody's writing about this one time that they were a person in their professional career that presented in an ambiguous way, and they knew that others did not always know how they identified and just typically used their name, and they didn't want to have a discussion about it. And so when they were at their first meeting where they asked everyone to share pronouns, they were put in a position of, am I honest and out myself, or do I lie? And that's a horrible position to be in. And that's common also for non-binary people who, just by sharing their pronouns, outs themselves. It is also true for individuals that know who they are, but for whatever reason, they do not feel safe transitioning yet. And I've heard this from many people who transitioned later in life. Now, some people understand, but they talk about how they understood what they had to do, but it was painful to have to say the pronouns that as they were presenting in their life, even though in their heart they knew that's not who they were. So that's the first thing. It puts people in a difficult position. I think if people want to share their pronouns, great, and people should always have the option not to share. Now, I say this now, and it's not really relevant yet, what I'm saying, because we're not in this country in a current position that most people are not making people share pronouns. And I also think it's important to discuss because I think many people think that for those of us that do share pronouns, that that's what we believe. I can't speak for what other people who share their pronouns, what they do or don't believe. I'm telling you what I believe and why. The other reason, and this is to me very important as well, that people should not be made to share pronouns, and this is the one thing that my friend understood, is that sharing pronouns signals to people that you're a safe space. It signals to people that you understand, no matter how you identify, that you understand that difference between gender and sex. It signals to people that you are educated, that you are accepting of the gender diversity that is true with biology and nature. And my friend recognized that she was not a safe space. She could respect anybody, that was not an issue. But she didn't quite wrap her brain around the difference between gender and sex. And because of that, she was very afraid and had the experience of saying things that hurt people. She didn't want to hurt anybody. She wanted to be respectful. And she recognized that her lack of education, although I give her credit, she tried and she was working on it, but she wasn't there yet. And she knew that. So she did not feel comfortable putting her pronouns on there because she felt it was giving a signal she could not live up to. And I have high respect for that. I think it's the thing that was missing, the thing that people don't understand. This wasn't like a cool thing to do. It was an important thing to do. It is an important thing to do. And for these reasons of putting people in a position to out themselves or lie, or signaling to others that you're a safe space or an understanding space, and you don't have to be masterful, but you have to have some level of safety for people. That this is why I don't believe in making people share their pronouns, whether on an email signature or in a group or otherwise. It should always be optional. But just like I don't believe you should make people share their pronouns, I also don't think you should prohibit people from sharing their pronouns. I mean, pronoun is just saying, hey, this is the word that identifies me. This is what I associate with. If somebody uses pronouns, some people don't use pronouns. Some people just say, please use my name, don't use a pronoun with me. That's fine. Whatever it is, it's a word that symbolizes the individual. I don't see the problem with wanting to respect each other. We respect each other with words and names, and what names we use to address people are also a sign of respect. Whether we call somebody by their first name, whether we use their last name, all of those things are a sign of respect. Pronouns are just a sign of respect. I don't understand why anyone would prohibit somebody to say, here's my pronouns so you can address me appropriately, and so that you know I'm a safe space. Why is that a problem to signal you are a safe space? I don't understand. It doesn't hurt anyone. It doesn't get in anybody's way. And with that in mind, that it's a signal now more than ever, because we've seen the pronouns, whether you're on a Zoom call or email or whatever, we've seen them disappear. And I think that's great if they're disappearing because these are individuals that are not a safe space, that do not have a level of understanding. I do worry when they disappear out of fear. Because a lot of people say, what can I do? How can I show my allyship? How can I support? This is a small way of support. That if you are a safe space and you want to lend yourself to show that you're a safe space, share your pronouns if that feels right to you. A reason not to do it should not be fear. It is time. As I mentioned in the last podcast, allies are needed more than ever to speak up. And this is a way to speak up if it feels right and it is safe for you. It is a way to say, no matter what the world, the news, whatever is telling me, I still know the fact of the difference of gender and sex. I still know that because gender is an inner sense of self, I can't look at somebody and they can't look at me and know how I identify. I want to let people know I am aware of that fact. So if you are a safe space, be the safe space and consider signaling you're the safe space by sharing your pronouns, if that's what feels right to you.